And greetings, everyone, and welcome to Buzz for Good, where we talk all things nonprofit, the people they serve and the good they do. And today we are buzzing about my good friend, spoken word artist phenom, hip-hop musician extraordinaire, artist in residence at Carilion Clinic, who helps people of all ages suffering from mental health issues, youth development leader at Boys and Girls Clubs, writer, producer, director at the Hip Hop Lab at Jefferson Center, church deacon, DJ, and self-proclaimed super geek, the one and only Bryan Blaque Hancock. Bryan has starred in 3 episodes of my TV show Buzz, and today we will revisit his work in those shows while also chatting about his upcoming sophomore album, The Care Package. And we'll play a couple of tracks from that album and talk about a launch party to which all are invited. But first, my name is Michael Hemphill. I'm the creator and host of this radio show, Buzz for Good, as well as the TV show Buzz that airs every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on Blue Ridge PBS. You can also find all of our episodes at our YouTube channel at Buzz for Good. That's Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, 4, Good. Our website is buzzforgood.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Buzz for Good. Again, you can watch all of our TV show episodes, our Emmy Award-nominated TV show, and more about that later, on our website and YouTube channels. Our 49th episode airs this Wednesday, June 26th, starring all the organizations such as the Appalachian Trail Conservancy that protect and promote our region's most visited site, McAfee Knob. And you can join our free watch party that Wednesday evening, again June 26th, at Old Salem Brewery in downtown Roanoke. If you happen to be listening to the show after June 26th, the episode is now available on our YouTube channel at Buzz for Good. Then, on July 17th, it is our big 5-0, our 50th episode. And you are all invited to a free celebration that evening at the Grandin Theater in Roanoke. And you can sign up now for that free event, also on our website, buzzforgood.com. I want to thank our sponsors, Partners in Financial Planning, a Southwest Virginia-based financial management firm, partnersinfinancialplanning.com, and First Bank and Trust, headquartered in Southwest Virginia, providing individuals and businesses with an exceptional suite of tools, resources, and solutions to navigate financial life. Firstbank.com. Now, I first met Bryan Hancock in March 2022 when he participated with his nonprofit Soul Sessions at the Roanoke Arts Pop Festival hosted by the Taubman Museum. And I asked him if he could come up with a rap on the fly about being at Arts Pop, and here's what he dropped on me.
Roanoke's Arts Pop, you don't stop, we love it. Everything about it, you know, we're not above it. We're all in together with a community to serve the purpose and everything that you know. I'm not nervous talking to Buzz for Good. We all art, and we're right here in your neighborhood. Freestyle flow off the top of my brain, and I'm saying this, letting you know I'm in my lane. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Well, as you can imagine, I have been smitten ever since with his artistry. A few months later, we got to feature Bryan again, this time in his role as artist in residence at Carilion Clinic, where he counsels young and old alike who are suffering from mental illness, anxiety, and depression. And we'll share some of that episode that featured Bryan. And then most famously on our show, he co-wrote and performed the song It's Here that highlights Roanoke's vibrant arts and culture scene and its importance in attracting new business to the region. That episode aired in 2023, and all of those are available again on our YouTube channel and website, Buzz for Good. All of this work for our TV show, he has donated. And so when he reached out to me to see if I could help him get some buzz for his new album, I was overjoyed to be able to repay him in some small way. And so here is my conversation, including new music, with Bryan Blaque Hancock. And it is my honor to welcome here to Buzz for Good my good friend, Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock, who has been the star of so many Buzz episodes, helping so many nonprofit organizations. Bryan, good to see you, man.
It's good to be here with you.
Now, first things first, your nickname, your music name is Harvest Blaque,
Yes.
Blaque. Now,
Yes.
where does that come from?
Harvest came from my best friend. His name's Rob. Me and Rob, we've known each other since we were like kids. And, he gave me the nickname Harvest. He says that I have a unique way of planting positive seeds in people.
Nice.
And, that's where the Blaque, instead of Blaque, it's unique.
Yeah.
And Harvest is, just been my nickname since I would say junior high. So, yeah.
For our purposes, can I just call you Bryan, or do you prefer Harvest?
Yeah, you can call me Bryan.
All right,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah.
All right, well, so Bryan, you've got some exciting things happening right now, and we're going to get into this conversation back with all the work that you have done on, I don't know how many Buzz episodes so far helping nonprofits, but right now, though, you've got your own project that I'm excited to kind of partner with you on here a little bit. Tell us about what's happening right now.
Well, September 9th, I'm going to be releasing my sophomore album. It's called The Care Package, which will be a blend of hip hop and spoken word poetry. It tackles different content as far as mental health, what I've been through, how I've evolved, what I'm seeing. Nina Simone is one of my favorite artists who says that artists reflect the times. And sometimes I feel like we live in these times where people are very skittish about making art. And I just want to be able to express myself and just do it through music and poetry, which are, things that I love.
So you mentioned on it, and you share however much or as little as you're comfortable with, but you mentioned mental health.
Yes.
Has that been a struggle for you?
Yeah, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's a thing where we live in an age where we don't really talk about it, but like for me, writing music and being my authentic self has been therapy. And I'm also in therapy. So, I mean, it's important to do those things and to flex those muscles to tell your stories and be as authentic as possible instead of like being so quick to, kind of like skim through issues and genuinely talk about it. We live in this age where, everybody goes to the internet and nobody has like this genuine rapport anymore. It's like, I'm going to say this and then I'm done.
Right.
And
it's a one-way conversation.
It's a one-way conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Well, and so that kind of leads me to think about the episode that we did with you revolving around the healing arts.
Yes.
Because your work with Carillion Clinic involves helping people who are struggling with mental illness, maybe too strong a word, but struggling with depression, anxiety, all these things. And you use the written word and poetry to help them kind of break through that.
Yeah, it's important to realize that, we're going through these subjects of grief. And it's like sometimes, in my travels, people always say, well, why don't you get over this? Why don't you get over that? And grief is just like a bungee cord. It hits you hard. Some days, like, for myself personally, I think it was like I didn't really recognize it until like I had to really sit with uncomfortable feelings. And so it's like, having these conversations with other people who are going through similar things. And like I lost my brother 12 years ago to suicide. And so it's like having those conversations about grief and how we can connect the dots about memories about those people, how it feels, and have conversations and write poetry. I call it mining gems because you're going in the dark and you come back with these gems and life lessons and vulnerability. We're not having those conversations anymore. I call it fast food media. And, we live in this time where we're looking for more, just like skimming through subjects and topics and not having genuine conversations. And so I use poetry, and I've been able, thank God, and thank Carillion as well, being able to partner with them on those projects to have those conversations as far as mental health with poetry and music.
Yeah, well, so while we're there talking about this, I want to play the portion of our Buzz episode featuring the healing arts where you came on and you were the Carillion's artist in residence, helping a woman named Jane Tysinski.
Yes.
And so here's that clip from that episode where you're working with Jane and she's talking about that incredible health that she was able to recapture thanks to working with you.
Yeah, it was a great thing. I still actually talk to her. She'll email me, and like we have great reports. So shout out to Jane. It's great to have those conversations.
Yeah. So here's that clip.
You know, I like to think of that old whack-a-mole game. You know, I've been known as a survivor. You know, I can smile for the camera, put that strong exterior on, and I just, you know, you stick your head out, you get bashed. You stick your head out, you get bashed. And this time, I just crumbled into a major pit of despair.
My name is Bryan Blaque Hancock. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm the founder of Soul Sessions. I also am the lead performer for Harvest Blaque and Squad Soul. And been doing area events with Soul Sessions and doing music for about, I say probably over 20 years or so.
Well, I just kind of stayed in that familiar pit for a while. I have no children either, so, you know, there's just no word that I can think of powerful enough to describe it. It's just plain hard.
I've been working with Carillion Healing Arts. They've given me a residency here, and I'm able to use creative writing prompts, music, poetry, and hip-hop as a pedagogy, and in different facets, working whether it be grief and loss, whether it be with children on the adolescent unit here at the Annex for Carillion, and just also with the doctors and nurses that have been on the front line of that egregious disease, COVID-19.
Time went by, and actually I was seeking counseling, and Carillion offered a program last summer for healing through creative arts. And of all the things that I've been through, that has just rerouted me to a whole new path in life. I mean, I'm just surprised myself how profound this can be.
I met Jane through, we were doing the Zoom project with grief and loss, and it's called The Art of Healing.
It's been incredible. I mean, I just feel like I was just kind of caught inside myself in that muck. And, you know, and I feel like that this program opened that door to where I could finally come out to where the air was fresh and the skies were blue. I mean, it took a while. It's not an instant thing. You have to put in the work.
We had her write a poem about him, and I gave her an opportunity to say, you know, we're not looking for like this thing where everybody is Shakespeare or something like that. We're saying, you know, illustrate it from the heart of who that person was for you.
Were you taking medication during this time as well?
I was, and believe it or not, I've just recently became free from my medicine. This has been incredible for me. I'm on no medicine right now, so.
So truly it has healed.
Yes. I mean, my whole life has been challenging. I hate to admit this, but I've had a couple suicide attempts in my life. It's you know, it's not been an easy journey.
It was a beautiful thing to see people just kind of stand up. And even myself, I lost my brother a few years ago, unfortunately, to suicide. And just meeting people halfway and being in the place of walking in vulnerability and walking in that honesty. Instead of saying, I'm the expert, I have all the answers, we're working to figure it out together.
But
now I feel like, you know, I've overcame a lot in my life, and I feel like this is helping me to believe that I can do it again. You know, I just feel like that I've been rescued out of that pit of despair, And it's really seriously put me on a new path. I'm almost looking at things that happened to me maybe as things that happened for me for such a time as this.
All right, well, once again, joined here on Buzz for Good by Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock, spoken word artist, and so many other musical labels I'm sure you could add, based here in Roanoke, Virginia. And he has his sophomore album coming out in September called The Care Package. And I'm excited. We met to kind of workshop how to maybe give some buzz to your work here. And we've kind of come up with an event where we're going to be able to help kind of release this album. So folks, go ahead and mark your calendars. It's still a work in progress, but on August the 15th,
Yes.
It's a Thursday evening at Hotel Roanoke in this speakeasy lounge area they've got. Most of you probably have never even seen it, but it is a spectacular little space. And we're going to have Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock's birthday bash album release party. That's a mouthful, but all that's going to be happening on August 15th.
Yeah.
And stay tuned. We'll have some more information about that coming up in future episodes. But so you got the sophomore album.
Yes.
The Care Package. What is it?
It is going to be kind of like, I would say, a movie for the ears. It's going to be a mixture of hip hop. It's going to be spoken word. It's going to be deeply vulnerable, and it's one of those. It's going to be a whole lot of fun too. You know, I love to tell stories, and it's more of a sequel to my first album that did very well, called The Mind Scrub. And you can check that out on Spotify as well. The Mind Scrub? Yeah, The Mind Scrub. It was an album that I made during the pandemic, where basically I'm telling, I'm shedding skin. And, and it's more, this album was more shedding skin as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a particular song that perhaps we could listen to right now to kind of tease everybody about what's going to be on this album?
Yeah. It's kind of like it's one of my favorite songs on the album. It's called "Be Patient," and it has kind of like I would say a hip hop Sinatra flair, I guess.
Hip hop Sinatra.
Yeah. I dig in different sounds, and you're going to find that out. It tells a story. And also it's very reflective, but also it's a lot of fun. So Be Patient is my favorite so far, and it was produced by a local producer named Van Guns, and he's an amazing producer. We worked together on a few different projects, and this is one of my favorite tracks. So yeah, definitely.
One of these days, I'm gonna show you what I am made of, what I am made of. One of these days, I will not stray, embrace where I came from, embrace where I came from. And I know you wanna pull me down, I had to wise up and adjust my ground. I will not wait up, not wait up. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I will always love. I will always love. Please be patient until you hear from me. Until you hear from me. Please be patient until you hear from me. Until you hear from me. Please be patient until you hear from me. Until you hear from me, please be patient. Until you hear from me, until you hear from me. Dance in the rain, nothing to say. Set full, I'm all done. Set full, I'm all done. You set me free. when I'm done. God says when I'm done. And I know you wanna pull me down. I had to wise up and adjust my crown. I will not wait up. I will not wait up. Please be patient until you hear from me. Until you hear from me. Please be patient until you hear from me. Until you hear from me. Please be patient.
All right, well, that was Be Patient on Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock's sophomore album, The Care Package, which is going to be released in September.
Yes.
And we're going to be working with him to have a Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock birthday bash and kind of release party on August the 15th.
Yeah, and we're going to unveil some of my favorites from that album. A lot I kind of want to keep hidden and tell, because like I'm so excited for back in the day is like before, like I sound like an old person when I say it,
Wow,
but like
that's me. I remember 8 tracks.
Yeah, when you got this album and it was just like everything, and it was like your Saturday night, it was like what you talked about.
Yeah.
This is what the album feels like for me. It's like it's a conversation piece. It gets back to my renegade spirit, because I think it's important to just be who you are. Great artists can tell you all the time who they are, why they are, and why you should be listening to them.
Right.
And we get that. I got that a lot from a lot of my favorite albums, and examining them and listening to them and looking for Easter eggs of things. Is I can't believe he said that. Whoa, go back.
Yeah. Well, and the concept of an album. I mean, kids these days, and here I'm aging myself here, but kids these days, it's all like one-off songs from Spotify, right? And the idea of an album, when we were growing up, I mean, it was like picking up a novel, and you wouldn't just read the middle chapter and then put it down. You would go from start to finish, and that whole start to finish concept of an album was a special thing.
Yeah. I think it's an awesome time to do it. We're seeing hip hop in a decline of sales, which is interesting, because I think there's a big difference between genuine hip hop and rap. Rap is the lie and it's the misogyny. Hip hop is always, I felt like, deeply rooted in the truth. And so I'm telling truthful stories and giving you my point of view. A lot of the music that we're hearing right now is glorifying addiction, glorifying violence. They're not telling cautionary tales, and that's the missing ingredient: truth and cautionary tales, and the truth about these things. And that's what I love about hip hop, as far as it as a culture and being able to create in it. And so I think that's what has worked well for me.
Yeah. What is it? I mean, so the episodes that we've worked on, have involved the healing arts, as well as you had some performances at Roanoke Arts Pop, which was held in March at the Taubman Museum of Art, and featuring artists, different arts organizations all over Roanoke. What is it about art, spoken word poetry, that helps you get out of mental illness?
Well, artists are, I think artists of any type, but especially with spoken word poetry, they're the gatekeepers of the truth. They look at things and they see the most obscure of things and can magnify it. And you're telling stories from your situations. I think that poetry definitely helps with mental health, and the fact that you can connect to other people and say, oh my gosh, I've been through that. And when it's done well, you can talk about what you've been through. Like, oh my gosh, I've been through that. Like, so you have subjects about grief and loss, or you have subjects about what it's like to have a broken heart, what it's like to thrive and say, today's the day I'm going to get up. To have those stories and have people connect to it, they can say for themselves, oh my gosh, I needed that. There are times that people have told me stories through music or poetry that, like, I didn't realize I needed that. I was like, oh my gosh, I needed that today. Thank you. Life isn't easy, but it's going to be all right, and it's important to get into things that are going to help feed your mind creativity, and because there's so much of a void that people try to fill nowadays, which isn't conducive to healing. I mean, we see it even in the political climate that we're in. Everybody is bashing each other. Nobody's in a place of genuinely, actively listening. It's very divisive. The culture right now is very divisive. And, you know, sometimes we need to get back to this thing where civil discourse is needed. You know, there might be things that you and I disagree on, but at the end of the day, I hope that your family's well.
Yeah. Right.
And having these conversations, you know, what are we doing to do that? It's just, it feels sometimes so numb.
Yeah.
And and with my music and the things I want to create, I want to feel it.
Yeah.
I want to feel it. Like a punch in the face, I want to feel it. Yeah.
Well, once again, joined here on Buzz for Good by Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock, spoken word artist extraordinaire based here in Roanoke, Virginia, who is getting ready to release in September his sophomore album of hip hop, spoken word, poetry, all the things, called The Care Package. You've had this history of working with Carilion Clinic with people. You know, let's say I, as a patient, come to you and I'm suffering from depression. I've had maybe a significant other who's just passed away. How do you begin that conversation as far as, you know, walk me through like the process of how you help somebody?
It's about listening to them, and then from listening to them, having them tell their story. Because their story is important. Our testimony is important. So it's about listening to them and how to get those ideas on paper.
Yeah. So like, where do you start with, you give them instructions of, all right, I want you to go write about.
Yeah. It's more of a free write. Like, I have like a subject of the day. Like, for instance, today, you know, with me and my kids that I work with kids on the adolescent unit. We'll listen to songs that kind of relate to a topic, like 90s hip hop, that tells a story that they can relate to.
Okay.
And we go from the song they can relate to, and then I'll ask them questions about how the music made them feel. And can they relate to that story? And they're like, yes, I can. And so we'll go from there to a question. Or like, my question sometimes is, what is it that you've overcome, or a moment where you felt like you were lost, you felt like you were going to lose, but you actually were winning by the end of it. And we get to these things where we have, word fruit salad, I call it. So we'll take words and we'll take things that help identify their feelings and have genuine conversations about that. And then they structure their writing. And then by the end of it, you ask them in that room if they feel compelled to share. And some people will, and some people don't, but they will tell you that they got something out of it. Because the key is nothing new. There's no reinventing of the wheel. There's nothing new under the sun. It's just about having conversations, and that's something that people have done since the beginning. They're telling their stories, but we have to be in a place of being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Sure.
And genuinely having those conversations and letting it be known, this is what I've been through. This is my point A to Z, or this is just a little bit that I want to give you today. You know,
is there if you look back on all your work with, adolescents, middle-aged, elderly, is there a particular success story that comes to mind? It's like, oh, I'm really glad I was there for that particular person.
Definitely with Jane, and then I've had a student, and I call them students, but them telling me, thank you, I got something out of this. Some days you're beating your head against the wall. You think you're not helping anything. You don't think that you're helping anybody, but you have moments, and I've had more moments more often than not where somebody has thanked me. And, I appreciate that, because they don't even realize that they were showing me something as well. And so in those rooms, it's like, or these conversations, you're getting lifelong friends, or you're getting people that you just know when they leave, they're going to be okay, and they let you know, it's like, thank you. That's important to me. That is genuinely important. Sometimes I can be very intense, But at the end of the day, I want to see people healed.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not doing my job in that, then I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, so that's the work that you've done with Carilion Clinic and mental health, inpatient type work. But you've also been this beautiful ambassador for Roanoke City that, again, we in a different episode of Buzz, we got to feature you on. And that was where we involved you and another local musician named J.P. Powell to collaborate on this song that we then turned into a music video called It's Here. And, and the idea of the whole episode and the song in particular was to showcase a variety of arts and cultural organizations and artists and just cool creative people here in Roanoke, in hopes that maybe that will attribute to our quality of life and help more people and more businesses in particular want to come and relocate here and grow here. I want to play that song right here, or It's Here, and then I want to talk about kind of what was your inspiration in bringing it to be. So here is the song It's Here. It was even it was a spectacular music video as well that we produced, and you can watch that on our YouTube channel at Buzz for Good. But here's the song, It's Here.
All right.
Yeah. Vibe to this. Yeah. VA stand up. Right here. Roanoke City stand up. Hey. It's here. Hey. Let me talk to you like this real quick. It's here. Light it all up like a Roman candle. Parts of paintbrush and the canvas. Make it all happen from where you're standing. Ain't no second string, nope, no stand-ins. Every hand up, cause we got the answer. Shout it to the sky like a walking pamphlet. Whole city tapping in for the cause, enthralled. Showing out, define all laws of gravity. All in the name of humanity. Already one go, roll with your family. See your dreams lucid in 3D. Be who you wanna be. Faith of a mustard seed. Germinate, culminating purpose. I shall proceed. Be a walking testimony. Our stories unfold so bold for the glory. Yeah, it's all here. Telling our stories, take the lead. Etch a stone, look for me. Here, right here. It's here. Right here. It's here. Right here. It's here. Right here. Yeah. Hold this torch, just protect this candle. I seen squads, camps, and cliques all dismantle. Let our light shine as we take it by force. We got a right mind, so we aim our voice. Killed on set, cause it's all just cause and effect. Rub this rash, watch it more than infect. Keep your accolades, riches, awards in here. We go to war with a pen, mighty sword in here. Bust like a cannon, flow move just like a phantom. The flow so fast, the conversation just so random. Like, who's that on that mic? A true bona fide MC, he doing what he like. Heard he's so live, could he ever style bite? Is he live for real or just another sound bite? Nah, never, so smooth, stronger than ever. We do it right now, yes, now or never, come on. It's right here, right? We do it right now, yes, now or never, come on. It's right here, right? All great things start right here. Right here. This is the place to be. Home sweet home.
All right, and that was It's Here, which was featured in our Buzz episode revolving around arts and economic development here in Roanoke, Virginia, written by my guest here on today's show, Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock.
Hey.
So how did you, there's so many different ways that I don't even know how to begin to write a song.
Yeah.
But how did you talk about how this song came into being?
Well, I took ideas and I thought about what it's like to be here. Mm-hmm. What it was like for me, like, as a struggling artist. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, great artists, I feel like also can champion other artists or let them know that, hey, it's okay. Like, you know, like jumping in the pool. Hey, the water's okay. It's fine over here, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's a love letter to my home.
Nice.
This is my home. I'm not going anywhere. This is my home.
Right.
And so I wanted to highlight my home. You know, it comes with, you know, I've had great people tell me that they love the song, and I've had people criticize it as well, you know. But to me, it was my way of saying this is home.
Yeah.
And, you know, wherever you go, that you make a plan to make it better. You know, I'm not perfect by any means, but I know that I love home, and I love people. I have a huge affinity and love for people of all kinds.
Yeah.
But the song was just about it. I love partnering with JP because it really did feel like one of the situations. Like I never knew who he was until you introduced us and said what was needed, you know. And so it was like him. Now I have a good friend in him as well.
Yeah.
And him and his wife and
Yeah.
all of you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, the song is just really a love letter to home to let people know that, hey, you know, this can be what we want it to be, but we really need to be together in that.
Right.
And, you know, the arts is something that, you know, brings so many different people together with ideas.
Well, I got to say, you know, I will take a little credit in just thinking up, hey, you know what would be really cool is if we had a music video.
Yes.
You know, but that was it.
Yeah.
You know, and then it turned it over to y'all. Y'all created this fabulous song. And then you involved in it. I mean, David Stewart Wiley, the maestro of the Roanoke Symphony Orchestra. He's on the piano. Yeah. And you've got Shalene Powell, who's, you know, with the Roanoke Cultural Endowment, but she's also in the symphony. And you've got Brooke Tolley with Opera Roanoke.
Yes.
And you've got the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir. I mean, it
great
blew my mind up.
Amazing collaboration. And, you know, I love that song. It's like one of my favorite songs. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, mine too. Y'all did a phenomenal job. Well, speaking of songs, here with Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock, who is getting ready to release his sophomore album, The Care Package, which features hip hop, poetry, spoken words.
Yes.
All the things.
All the things.
And we're going to partner with him to host still a work in progress, but on August the 15th at Hotel Roanoke. A birthday bash, because that's going to be around your birthday.
Yes.
Along with, you're going to perform some of the songs and hopefully inspire some people there to want to buy the album.
Oh, yeah. Great things start right here at home. So I would love to see the people who genuinely want to hear it just be there and hang out.
Yeah. Now, you know, we were talking about how special Roanoke is to you. Are you from Roanoke?
My whole life.
Okay.
You know, I've been here my whole life. I've been in and out of all the places in the city. You know, sometimes people from out of town, they come and they'll hang out with me and they'll ride around and they have to get to certain locations. And like, I get to those locations really fast. And they're like, well, how'd you know how to get here? I was like, been here my whole life. So I know every road. Yeah. You know, but yeah, I love Roanoke. I mean, it had been a love-hate relationship with here, of course. I mean, because you're concerned about what you want to see evolve and what you think in your mind the potential of what it could be. Unfortunately, Roanoke is still top 10 most segregated cities in the country. Yeah. But, you know, you either play your part to make it better or you just sit back and play. And I can't stand a critic. I want to see people that want to genuinely do and help evolve this place. And like the things that you guys do, you know, you highlight the businesses here and you shed light on things that people don't necessarily get to see and give nods to. Or like my friends at Roanoke Doesn't Suck, who they tell the stories of like local business owners as well, or obscure things that people don't really get to see every day. Those things are very special to the development of this area and diversity by the soul, not the numbers. Those things are important.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You know, I haven't even mentioned all this, but you're African American.
Yes.
And when talking about the lack of diversity or the segregation in the city, you know, how have you experienced that?
I mean, it's a thing where like once people get to know me, they're like, "Oh, that's just Bryan," you know. But it's been a tough road. It's been a tough road, but you get it from both sides. You know, there's some people like you're too. They try to pigeonhole you and say that you're too white for the blacks, and some people say you're too black for the whites. So it's like, why are you doing this? You know, I'm a weirdo, and I own it proudly. But
you're an artist.
I'm an artist. Yes. Yeah. Right. And I'm
artists,
very aware.
Thankfully. Yeah. I think we got to have artists because they help bridge whatever divide it is. It's not just race, but politics.
Politics,
so many things, right? Religion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but I mean, I try my best to be patient, like the song. I try my best to be patient. A lot of people, they think that you have you figured out because I mean, boxes are easier for people. Yeah. But the thing is like, I mean, for instance, yesterday, we celebrated Juneteenth. Yeah. And like, unfortunately, we saw some posts and comments online that came from people who weren't willing to lay down prejudice and understand why we celebrate the things we celebrate. Right. And why we're having the conversations that we're having. And you can't erase our past of things that happened that were very cruel and dehumanizing in this country. Yeah. But what we can do is highlight it to how can we do it better? Nobody wants you to walk around with shame. Right. Right. But, let's walk around and figure out how we can be more united so that we can take care of things and leave it better than when we found it. Right. I think about, when Juneteenth was made a federal holiday. Yes. I think about people criticizing that. But, here in a couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating July 4th, Independence Day. Well, it wasn't Independence Day if you were not white. No, exactly. Right? Yeah. So should African Americans, if you want to talk about, people of Asian ancestry and out west, American Indians, Native Americans, all other minorities, should they also be opposed to July 4th? Because it wasn't Independence Day for them. Well, so I think it's just a respect for difference. Yeah, I'm very independent as far as thinking, and I'm very I love this country. Mm-hmm. If somebody joked and said, "Hey, go back to Africa," I'd be like, "Well, I've never been." Right. I'm an American. Yeah. And I have a lot of different values, but sometimes it's like I said, it's easy for people to check off boxes and have. Instead of having genuine conversations about what you're feeling in these moments in this country. Yeah. And we need to get back to the simplicity of it to say, well, what can we do to work on that, instead of writing people off? It just seems more and more, it's like people want to throw stones and hide their hand a lot more and say, well, this is my opinion. I'm going to be divisive. I'm going to say this. Then I'm done. Goodbye. Right. And we have to do more. Yeah. And we can't be lazy about that. Yeah. And that's across the board. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe this is as we wrap things up here. Thank you for the time, by the way. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah. So I want to play one more song. Okay. From your upcoming album that's getting ready to release. And that is Dear God Part 3. Yes. All right. I'm assuming there was a Part 1 and Part 2 somewhere out there? Yeah. There are different parts to it. Okay. But those are mixtaped, and they're in the vault. I have a vault. Okay. And so, but this is the one that I love the most. Okay. And this is the one that you guys I want to have. And so this is what I say. I will unveil this, and thank you, Dan, for shooting the video. Yeah. So but my partner in the Buzz episodes, Dan Morelli, is a videographer, cinematographer extraordinaire, and he shot the music video. Yes. Which you can find. Where could you see that? You can find it on my YouTube at Harv Blaque, HarvBlaque. Okay. You can listen to the music on Spotify, catch up the older stuff, Harvest Black. Black is spelled Blaque. I'm on Spotify. I'm on all streaming platforms. All right. So yeah, definitely. All right. And here is Dear God Part 3.
God, let me apologize for not being more spiritual. Some days it just feels like the same old same. I can't wind down, damn who press rewind now. Why is everybody driving the exact same lane? I need change, not loose change. I'm trying to break loose from the cage. A new phase, a new place to roost. I'd rather be rhyming, I know that it's all in due timing. But why I'm climbing, just know that the rent is due. I know it's greedy for asking, but you said ask you. You said I'm of your image, so I'm just like you. I know I skip church just to go and be in this booth, but everybody who says they do don't work for you. I hear what you're saying, I know it's not an excuse, but I'm down here, so this is the path that I choose. So please forgive me as I go about my day, but I'll f up anything that tries to get in my way. Walk in my shoes, sleep where I sleep. A prayer for myself, the company I keep. My head's so heavy, get tired and so weak, but still keep pressing on. Walk in my shoes, sleep where I sleep. A prayer for myself, the company I keep. My head's so heavy, get tired and so weak, but still keep pressing on. I try to coincide, it's more fun to collide, cause deep down I know that I'm a good guy. But sometimes my kindness gets mistaken for weakness. It makes me want to give back exactly what I'm receiving. It's been too long, a cool head I've been keeping, but man, all these lames on my plate while I'm eating. It said everything that there's a season, so I try to dress accordingly to every reason. I try to keep my focus flow, eating like locusts. Hatred inside is the reason they hold us like hostages right here on our own soil. I guess the government thought that we were too spoiled, so I'ma take my truth and use it to my defenses. I'ma get it all out until my spirit is cleansed. It's no longer safe with nowhere to run. Seem like everybody got you under the gun. Walk in my shoes, sleep where I sleep. A prayer for myself, the company I keep. My head so heavy and tired and so weak, but still keep pressing on. Walk in my shoes, sleep where I sleep. A prayer for myself, the company I keep. My head so heavy and tired and so weak, but still keep pressing on. And some nights between morning, questions come in order, you start yawning, but you're not ready for sleep. And you wanna save the hour, you start losing power. Your eyes start to close and you begin to dream. And on some occasion your heart starts racing, displacement happens and you can't even believe. You wasted your time in that same old lie. I do it tomorrow like you got places to be. Yeah, Crown and Coke 100 pages of wide rule. Hell, that's enough to give you more than an eyeful. Like to see these fakers try to do it like I do. When that money don't move, well watch what I do. What's your definition of friend? Does it chill your soul? Some like fresh fair weather to come out of the cold. But when everything gravy, everybody grab a biscuit. But when feeling indifferent, they all gone in an instant. Taking this and start status without star quality that don't really shine no matter the quantity. And all you ever hear is hey, just follow me. I guess real talk, few far in between. Few far in between. Yeah. Welcome to the care package.
All right, and that was Dear God Part 3 by my guest here on Buzz for Good, Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock, from his sophomore album, The Care Package, which will be released in September. We are proud to partner with him to host a listening session.
Yes.
A party, which also includes a birthday bash for Bryan, on August the 15th at Hotel Roanoke. Stay tuned for more details. You can go to my website, buzzforgood.com. BUZZ4good.com. We'll also be promoting it on Buzz's social media, as well as Bryan's social media, which is all Bryan Harvest Blaque Hancock. If you search that on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, you would find it there as well. So stay tuned for all of that. And Bryan, just thanks so much for all you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure, and thanks for the work you've done on previous Buzz episodes, and wish you all the best with the care package.
Thank you for having me. I'll definitely send you a personal copy so you can check out everything.
You're a good man. I appreciate it. Well, many thanks again to Bryan Hancock for sharing his gifts so generously with Roanoke. And mark your calendars for August 15th when we help launch his second album. More information coming on future shows. Now, if you are tuning into this Buzz for Good by June 22nd, I ask that you send some buzz my way, as I will be attending that evening the Capitol Emmy Awards ceremony in Bethesda, Maryland, where 2 Buzz episodes from 2023 were nominated for regional Emmy Awards. Our Staying Connected Through Art at Roanoke City Public Schools episode, which was produced in partnership with Roanoke Cultural Endowment and the City in Roanoke, received a nomination in the category Education Schools Long-Form Content. And our episode on The Least of These Homeless Ministry in downtown Roanoke was nominated in the Societal Concerns Long-Form Content category. Our show is a program of the American Advertising Federation of Roanoke, filmed and edited by Dan Morelli, videography and photography, and broadcast by Blue Ridge PBS. And I cannot do this show without those vital partners. So thank you so much, and thanks to you all for your support. Speaking of your support, I would love to see you this Wednesday night, June 26th at 5 p.m. at Old Salem Brewery in downtown Roanoke as we premiere our 49th episode highlighting the remarkable partners who protect and promote a Blue Ridge treasure, McAfee Knob. And here's a few minutes of a sneak listen to that show. You will not find a more photographed spot on the Appalachian Trail than McAfee Knob near Roanoke, Virginia. Each year, nearly 50,000 people from around the world trek to the overlook for the scenic, sought-after shot. As perilous as McAfee Knob appears to be, what's really dangerous is 3.5 miles down the trail, where hikers have to park their cars and then cross busy Highway Virginia 311 to reach the trailhead. Thankfully, there's a passionate group of citizens from federal, state, and local governments and nonprofits whose years-long work is now coming to fruition to solve this potentially fatal problem. On today's episode, we are buzzing about their partnership and, in our own way, surveying the landscape to provide some marketing buzz of our own.
My name is Pete Eshelman, and I'm the director of the Roanoke Outside Foundation, which is an initiative, it's a nonprofit arm of the Roanoke Regional Partnership, and which is an initiative to leverage our natural assets to attract business investment and talent to the Roanoke region and Virginia's Blue Ridge.
I'm Catherine Hernan-Powell. I'm a regional manager for Central Virginia with the Appalachian Trail Conservancy.
My name's Amanda McGee. I am a senior planner at the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission.
I am Paula Binke. I am a transit planner with Roanoke County's Planning Department.
The Appalachian Trail Conservancy works nationally to protect and preserve the Appalachian Trail, and we work closely in partnership with the local trail clubs who are out there doing the day-to-day maintenance of the trail. They're really the boots on the ground, as well as our agency partners in the U.S. Forest Service and the National Park Service, and local partners like Roanoke County, all the wonderful folks around here.
Oh, I think that it's one of the crown jewels, so to speak. We have so many outdoor recreation activities, but with McAfee being one of them located here, that they can actually hike a part of the Appalachian Trail. It truly is a regional jewel.
Yeah, I went to Hollins University. So I'm originally from North Carolina, but that's when I first came to the Roanoke Valley, was as a student, and I didn't have a car, so I could only go hiking when I had friends who were going and could give me a ride. But I always wanted to go to school in the mountains, and that was just really, we mostly went to either Dragon's Tooth or McAfee Knob when we could get out there in the spring and in the fall, and it just every time blew the top of my head off.
Yeah, the view at the top is just phenomenal, as I think is well documented. And if you do it as this overnight up the back kind of situation, you can get up early enough that you beat the crowds, and you just have that whole plateau almost to yourself, and it's just a really lovely experience.
We used to just sit there and dangle our feet off the edge and eat lunch, and I don't know why I always brought Oreos. Maybe they were easy to come by in the school cafeteria or something. But just that openness and that space and the excitement as you kind of break out into the edge of the rock from the woods, I try to remember that now when I get really bogged down in all the kind of administrative details and and some of the, you know, things that can be challenging about working in such a high use area that for a lot of the visitors, it is their very first time discovering it, and we want to keep that same experience for them, and that's really, you know, what drives me.
I always say that we used to take the beauty of where we live, the mountains, the lakes, the rivers, and we treat them like wallpaper. You know, they're nice to look at, but that's where it ended. You know, what we've been able to do over the past 15 years is become intentional with these, be able to curate them and leverage them into tools for economic growth. And at the center of that is the Appalachian Trail and McAfee Knob, because it is so iconic. It's a bucket list hike. You know, it's on everybody's list that they have to hike. Again, we're really fortunate to have the Appalachian Trail running through here, so it's easy access for people to get out there and be on this iconic, you know, hike. And the centerpiece of that is McAfee Knob. And it's over the course of the years, you know, you've seen it at the parking lot, we've seen it everywhere. It is a beloved hike that we're on the fringe of loving it to death. You know, because everybody's here, we're coming to town, what should we do? Oh, you gotta go hike McAfee Knob, and now you gotta go hike and get the sunrise in there. People are proposing, you know, on McAfee Knob. So it's become this centerpiece for Virginia's Blue Ridge.
But McAfee Knob's popularity has come at a cost.
I don't think I am saying anything controversial to say that we have seen over the past several years just increased pressure at this location from just the sheer amount of people who are visiting this site, because it's so amazing. It's such an amazing place to visit, but what that means is that we really have to change how we think about it, because there are so many more people coming to this spot. We really have to change how we think about the infrastructure that's in place to serve those people.
Well, I think if you've been up to the trailhead at any point in time, you would notice that, you know, individuals are crossing Route 311 to actually start their journey, which is, you know, very, very scary and can be, you know, detrimental. But so with the pedestrian bridge that's going to be already in construction and hopefully finished later this year in 2024, it will provide a safe passage to start their hike as opposed to crossing over Route 311 as it is now.
Where I think our partnership really shone was when VDOT put the proposal together. You know, they did an amazing job coming up with a design and a budget and everything for the pedestrian bridge. When we put the call out, VDOT put the call, everybody put the call out for letters of support. There's an unprecedented number. I mean, every organization in the valley that had anything to do with, I mean, City of Roanoke, Roanoke County, the Roanoke Outside, obviously the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club and Appalachian Trail Conservancy, and all sorts of groups just all spoke up and wrote letters right away to say, you know, please fund this. And it's a very large project for VDOT to be a pedestrian project. You know, of course, most of the funds for VDOT projects go to things in the roadway. So it really came from an unprecedented amount of local support and a really broad partnership supporting it.
The McAfee Knob is on everybody's bucket list, and they should. At some point, everybody should hike the McAfee Knob. But the thing people need to realize is that we have over 1,000 miles of hiking trail within an hour radius of downtown Roanoke. So there are a tremendous amount of choices out there for people to go and find the trail less hiked, you know, and it's really easy to do with all these choices out there. So while the pedestrian bridge is being built across 311, we're encouraging people to get out there and discover these new hikes that are hidden right here in their own backyard.
And if you want a hike where you can just drive right to the parking lot, there's so many options. So maybe this is the year to give McAfee Knob a little bit of a rest and go explore and see some of the other really cool places in the area. It'll still be there and better than ever when you come back.
Now, in this episode, our friends at Lead Point Digital have created a dazzling, not McAfee Knob hikes campaign to give some buzz to other fantastic trails and help alleviate congestion at our region's most visited site while that parking area is closed. So tune in to Buzz on Wednesday, June 26th to Blue Ridge PBS, or again, attend our watch party at Old Salem Brewery in downtown Roanoke. Also, save the date for our special 50th episode of Buzz on July 17th at the Grandin Theater in Roanoke, Virginia. Visit our website, buzzforgood.com, for more information and to register. And until then, keep being a buzz for good in the community you hold dear, and we'll see you next time here on Buzz for Good. Bye now.